Way to go, but you will have to be very careful in which breed that we use to do the crossbreeding, because you need a breed that's going to be adapted to this environment.
For the crossbreed, you can use the injections.
You know, my work in Ethiopia, the way that we've been doing it is by bringing in the frozen semen and doing artificial insemination. But I don't know if you have people in this area who are trained to do that.
Yeah, there are a lot. There are a lot. Even him, the one, you can train them in this one.
Okay.
Yeah, there are many. But we can come together, then you train them. Then we start working on it.
Okay.
Yes.
But you know, many times animals in an area have been selected, natural selection, over many generations so that they can perform well in the local environment. When we bring in new genetics, there's always the possibility that the new genetics doesn't adapt well to the environment. So sometimes we can do the crossbreeding, but not all of the crossbred animals will perform well. So we'll have to sell some of them.
It's better to try.
Yeah, we can try.
Yes.
Many me feel
You have
like
a naked neck chicken.
yes. Another type of chicken. They need.
Locked chicken. It's a lock.
So if you want to crossbreed, you have to keep them separate with the rows which are current.
Well, there are two ways to do the crossbreeding. One is to purchase a bull and to let the bull do the mating, in which case you have to separate the groups.
Okay.
But if we want to perform artificial insemination, it's just a matter of monitoring the females to know when is the proper time for breeding.
Okay.
We can do the insemination.
Like for those, we do crossbreed for those which gives milk.
So, for example, there's a breed which originated in India called the Gyr. And in the country of Brazil, in South America, they have crossbred the Gyr breed with the Holstein breed, which is a very good milk production. And they've done this crossbreeding to produce an animal that's adapted to the local conditions, particularly the heat, and then also does a good job of producing milk. One of the challenges I see is with the small body size of these cows. Yeah, we have to be very careful about which breeds we use for crossbreeding. So I might suggest even a dairy breed like the Jersey, which is a smaller framed animal, but it has capacity for good milk production. Might be a good place to start, but I don't know how well the Jersey breed will perform in this environment, so I'll need to do some reading and to see if anyone has done experiments.
Okay. Like here, maybe
Because the Girlando breed that's as popular in Brazil, you know, it's a much bigger breed, and you think about the delivery of the calf. If you use a breed which is too big in the shoulders and
okay. But they are adaptive to heat. Like the way here we're in a place where it's hot.
But I suppose there might be some breeds. 50%, but even by 20%, the number of cattle that they're raising, that will give each of the remaining cows more feed. And just to see if it makes some difference. In my opinion, it will help.
But these things we can't make food for, just to grind machine. And we put mix salt and fry.
So we know, for example, in Iowa we raise a lot of maize. Some of that maize we use for the production of ethanol for fuel. Some of it we use for livestock feed. But even the stalk of the maize plant, you know, it can be used for the bedding of animals in the barn, or it can actually be crushed and ground, and not used as a good source of nutrients, but kind of as a filler, so that the animals, their stomach will feel full. And so animals that we're not trying to push to grow, we're just trying to keep them where they are. You could even
understand.
And I have such a hard time.
But the corn maize, that's where they can grow.
the feeding practice.
Feeding practice,
Or I would suggest it might be a problem with inbreeding. In many of the villages, there's no systematic plan for mating the males and the females. And many times, a farmer will buy a bull. He will use it for mating. He'll save the female calf, but then use the same bull, which is the father and the daughter.
That's the point. Somebody told me like that.
And that's terrible
The
for
problem, we are using the same bull
on the daughters.
They come back from the same place, and we use that bull to get breeds.
And this is where, if the communities are organized, you keep records of the breeding, and they don't have to be on the computer. It can be just written on paper. Ideally, it would be nice to have a digital copy somewhere, but develop a plan to rotate the bull from, if you use bull number 1 in community A this year, move bull number 1 to community B for next year, and then to community C for the next. That way, the local farmers aren't having to invest in a new bull every year. They're not having to worry about doing this inbreeding. And you know, there's genetic tests that could be done to verify if inbreeding is the problem, but it's, I think, expensive. So I would just assume that these animals, particularly those that are very small, they are inbred. If you bring in a new, different breed for crossbreeding, I think you will see the F1 crossbred. It's like they have an explosion of growth. We have this phenomenon, the geneticists call it hybrid vigor. When you're mating 2 different breeds together, you get this little boost in performance. You know, in many countries of the world, they will put a identification tag, or you know, and you keep records on the animals. Under this type of production system, my guess, it's not common for people to write anything down. The farmers have all the information in their head, but we need to record this information and help teach the farmers not to make the daughter of a bull, don't mate it back to the same bull. You need to find a different bull. And if this practice of inbreeding has happened over many generations, it leads to higher mortality rates, it leads to problems with reproduction, and it leads to this stunting, small size, poor performance. If you think about an organism, we talked today about each cell has the chromosomes. When you start mating together individuals which are related, it reduces the genetic variation. And sometimes that can be good, because if the father and the daughter both carry the best genes for a particular trait, you make them together, it's good. But if they have some bad genes, what you're doing is concentrating and making the bad genes more prevalent. So you get this reduction in performance because you're reducing genetic variation and increasing the concentration of the bad genes.
about the genetic test for verification? Can it be done locally or can be done?
There should be the capability within the country of Zambia to have it done. There are some private cattle breeding companies, some private animal health companies that offer the testing for parent identification. In the United States, most of our farmers in the dairy cattle side, they are using a special type of DNA test. We call it genomics. That what happened is animal geneticists studied all of the chromosomes, and they tried to find some short regions of the DNA where within that short region there was only one of the building blocks of DNA, only one nucleotide, which was different. And then they went and looked at performance. What happens if at this position there was a thymine or an adenine or a cytosine or guanine? And then we can start selecting for that particular building block of DNA that gives the most favorable result. So in the U.S. dairy cattle industry, we saw milk production was going up very steadily. When we started using this genomic testing information, we're now improving milk production twice as fast as we used to. Now the danger is if you start doing too intense selection, it reduces the genetic options you have in the breed, and so when climate change comes or a new disease, but I don't think that's something you will have to worry about here for many decades. So University of Zambia, for example, they should have all the equipment that would be necessary for doing this testing, but you know, this is one of my assignments as a student. I'm here learning, but I have to investigate, you know, what types of services are available to support the livestock industry here in Zambia. I saw already that there are many international seed corn companies here. I've seen some different breeding companies for poultry. We stopped to see one agricultural products store, and I saw many different vaccines and antibiotics and treatments. So I think your situation in Zambia, in my opinion, is better than some of the other countries I've visited. 3 to 4 years. It's longer than I thought.